Dr. Nathaniel Corre stood at the edge of discovery, his breath catching in his throat as he stared at the swirling vortex of energy that dominated the far side of the lab. The portal was unlike anything he had ever seen. Its surface rippled like liquid fire, casting a warm glow across the cluttered room, filled with decades of research, trial, and error. The soft hum of the machines around him seemed insignificant compared to the deep, resonant thrum emanating from the heart of the portal itself, a sound that filled the room, vibrating through his bones. This was the culmination of years of relentless work, sleepless nights, and countless failures. It wasn't just an experiment. This was a doorway, a passage to somewhere beyond time, beyond space, beyond the known dimensions. Theoretical physicists had long whispered of the possibility of alternate realities, parallel timelines, or even realms existing beyond human comprehension. But now, Nathaniel stood at the threshold of turning theory into reality. "Lana, are you getting this?" Nathaniel asked, his voice tinged with both excitement and fear. His gloved hand hovered over the sleek control panel, ready to activate the final sequence. Dr. Lana Pierce's voice crackled through his helmet, her words punctuated by the hum of the lab's instruments. "We're reading massive fluctuations in the temporal field, Nate. It's unstable. We've never seen energy signatures like this." Nathaniel's heart raced. He knew the risks. He knew what had happened to the test objects they had sent through, some returning warped, others not returning at all. And yet, the allure of the unknown pulled at him like gravity. We didn't come this far to back out now. The calculations are solid. It's now or never. He glanced back at the lab's walls, cluttered with diagrams, notes, and sketches. Old blackboards filled with mathematical formulas that defied conventional physics. The space was crammed with shelves holding strange devices, prototypes of old experiments, and remnants of ideas that hadn't worked. This lab had been his sanctuary for over a decade, the place where he had poured his soul into unraveling the mysteries of the universe. Now, all of it seemed small in comparison to the yawning, crackling rift before him. "I have to do this, Lana," Nathaniel said quietly, more to himself than to her. He reached out, keying in the final sequence on the console. The portal flared, its energy intensifying, swirling faster, and casting long, distorted shadows on the walls. "You're risking everything," Lana's voice was tight with concern. "If something goes wrong, we can't pull you back. This could be a one-way trip." Nathaniel swallowed hard, his pulse thrumming in his ears. She was right, of course. The portal was uncharted territory. Stepping through it was stepping into the unknown, perhaps into oblivion. But that was the price of progress, wasn't it? The cost of chasing the deepest questions about the nature of reality. "I know," he whispered, staring into the mesmerizing depths of the portal. He took a breath and, with deliberate calm, took his first step forward. Then another. The magnetic pull of the portal intensified, wrapping around him like invisible tendrils, tugging him forward. Each step felt heavier, as though time itself were slowing down, resisting his approach. And then, in one swift motion, Nathaniel stepped fully into the portal. The sensation was indescribable. For a brief, terrifying moment, he felt as though his entire body was being stretched and compressed, twisted and unraveled. The world around him dissolved into a chaotic whirlwind of light and shadow. Time ceased to have meaning, unraveling in front of him like a tangled thread, moments blending and warping into a kaleidoscope of past, present, and future. He saw flashes of his life, his childhood, his first experiments in science, the moment he met Lana at the university, and the countless nights spent in this very lab. He glimpsed things he hadn't experienced yet, futures that hadn't come to pass, possible realities that flickered in and out of existence. And beyond that, he felt something more. Something ancient. Something vast and incomprehensible, watching him, studying him as he tumbled through the void. Then, just as quickly as it had started, it was over. Nathaniel gasped as he hit solid ground, the air knocked from his lungs. He blinked, disoriented, struggling to make sense of his surroundings. The chaotic whirl of the portal was gone, replaced by an eerie stillness. He found himself standing in a vast, alien landscape. It wasn't like anything he had ever seen. The sky above him shimmered with impossible colors, deep purples and greens that swirled like the northern lights, but far more vivid, far more alive. The ground beneath his feet was smooth, almost metallic, stretching out in all directions as far as the eye could see. In the distance, towering structures loomed, massive, spiraling forms that seemed to pulse with an inner light, like the veins of some titanic organism. The air itself buzzed with energy, thick and heavy, as if the very fabric of reality was different here, more malleable. This is impossible," Nathaniel whispered, his voice trembling with awe. He reached out, touching the ground, feeling the strange, cool texture beneath his gloves. It was real. It was all real. Suddenly, a voice, no, a thought echoed in his mind, filling his consciousness with a presence so vast, so overwhelming, that it nearly brought him to his knees. "You have come far, Nathaniel Koret." The voice was deep, ancient, and filled with a weight of knowledge and power that transcended anything Nathaniel had ever encountered. It wasn't human, and yet it wasn't entirely alien either. It felt timeless, eternal. Nathaniel's heart pounded in his chest. What are you?" he stammered, looking around, searching for the source of the voice. But there was no one there, only the strange landscape and the towering structures in the distance. "We are the architects of the paths between worlds," the voice said, its tone almost serene. "You have opened a door that was meant to remain closed." A chill ran down Nathaniel's spine. "What do you mean this? This is an experiment." "I didn't know. Knowledge comes with a cost, human." The voice seemed to grow louder, more intense, reverberating through his mind. "You sought the answers to the universe's greatest mysteries. Now, you will learn them. But in doing so, you will lose yourself." Nathaniel's breath caught. "Lose myself?" As the words hung in the air, he felt it, the slow, creeping sensation that something was changing within him. His thoughts felt distant, as though they were slipping away, dissolving into the fabric of the strange world around him. His memories, his identity, his very sense of self, it was all unraveling, being consumed by the vastness of the knowledge he had tapped into. "No," Nathaniel gasped, struggling to hold on to who he was, to what he had come here to do. But it was like trying to grasp water in his hands. The more he fought, the faster it slipped away. "You wanted to know," the voice said softly, almost sympathetically. "Now, you will become one with the knowledge. One with us." The sky above him darkened, the swirling lights growing more intense, as if the entire world was converging on him, pulling him deeper into its fold. The ground beneath his feet began to ripple, like the surface of a pond disturbed by a stone. In that moment, Nathaniel realized the truth. The portal hadn't just transported him to another world. It had transported him to another state of being, one beyond human comprehension. He wasn't meant to simply observe or explore this place. He was meant to become part of it. As his consciousness began to merge with the vast, ancient presence, he felt a strange sense of peace wash over him. The fear, the uncertainty, it all melted away. He was no longer Nathaniel Correa, the scientist. He was something more now. Something infinite. And as the final remnants of his human self faded into the depths of the alien world, the voice whispered one last time, echoing through the timeless void, "Welcome to eternity, traveler."